Good morning, students. Yesterday we discussed how words are formed from phonemes or sounds. Now we are going to another topic: language form and function of it. Function of a language. It is linguistic function that we have to discuss here. Language is to communicate, as we have already discussed several times. Charles Barber, a linguist, defined thus: a language is a signaling system which operates with symbolic vocal sounds. It's a definition of Charles Barber. Language is a human language is, when we are discussing about human language, it is a signaling system. A signaling system means communicative system used by signals. It operates. The system operates, means functions, with symbolic vocal sounds. The symbols are vocal sounds. Vocal sounds are sounds made by organs of speech, as we found yesterday. Organs of speech, as we found yesterday. I think you have drawn the figure also and studied how air goes through the mouth and through the nose and makes sounds like that. We will discuss later. Now, when we come to definition, language is of vocal sounds. Point 1. Sounds are symbols. 2.2. And these sounds are called signals. Just like electronic signals is language signal. And it makes a system, a linguistic system, language system, structure in the form of word, phrase, or sentence. Then it is not for birds, it is not for animals, it is not for fish, but for human beings. So we are discussing on language system of human beings. Charles Barber tells us how language functions are communicating in a better way among human beings. So now, let us conclude this definition like this, by repeating. According to Charles Barber, human language is a signaling system which operates with symbolic vocal sounds. By repeating and by writing down this definition, you can learn it by heart. When an essay is asked about the signaling system, it is good to quote this definition, so that there are points. The definition itself contains points for each paragraph. Okay. When I deal with the question, how to answer a question, I shall explain this further later. Now, study the definition of Charles Barber about human language. Okay. Messages are often passed through the signaling system. In communication cycle, this is a cycle. There will be a speaker and or a reader, and what is spoken, what is written are transmitted to the listener or the reader, and their responses comes to the speaker if it is an auditorium. The response of the listener returns to the speaker, so it becomes a cycle of communication. Idea transmitted from the speaker, received by the listener, then the responses come back to the speaker. So it becomes a cycle. In a cyclic way, communication goes on. So we are coming to the medium. It is the speaker. Speaker is otherwise known as the addresser. 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 The speaker, otherwise known as addresser, selects the medium. It is he, the speaker, who is to decide how he should transmit, the manner of transmission. Okay. So, selection of medium, whether he should speak in Malayalam, in Hindi, or English, or Arabic, like that. The medium, language, is decided by the speaker. Then, the addresser or the speaker never speak meaninglessly, because he wants to convey his view, his idea, his emotion. So meaningless talk is not suitable for him, right? So he will use meaningful words and sentences. Say what is spoken is known as the text, or what is written is known as the text, or we may say the content of the speech, content of the sentence. Like that we can clarify it. It is decided by himself, the speaker. The speaker decides what should be the content, what he should say, how he should respond. Like that, it is the addresser, the speaker, who is to decide the meaning of word applied in a sentence. Then it is transmitted to the listener. The listener, otherwise known as the receiver or addressee or the reader, we are transmitting to the second party. The speaker is the first person. Grammatically speaking, speaker is the first person, and the listener is the second person. So first person transmits his ideas to the second person. Here comes two words, important words in linguistics. It is encoding and decoding. What is the meaning of encoding? Encoding is ascribing meaning to a word or a selection of right word having right meaning and applying it in an appropriate place in the sentence. encoding. Then decoding. Another word is decoding. Encode, spelling E-N-C-O-D-E. Decode, D-E-C-O-D-E. Decode is analyzing and assuming the meaning, the sense, the content transmitted to the listener by the listener. It is a duty of the listener to decode. So, in short, we can say speaker encodes and transmits to the listener, and the listener decodes what is transmitted to him. So, encoding and decoding is the system of communication. Then it is visual and auditory, encoding and decoding. A signal can be seen and also can be heard. If I use a sign of plus and write it on the board, you can see it and you can understand 5 plus 5 is equal to 10, you will write. So the addition symbol is written there. You understood the meaning. You are decoding its meaning of that symbol plus. Like that. If I say add 5 to add, or 5 plus 5 is equal to, then you will say 10. Because from the sound add plus, you got the meaning. You decoded and got the meaning. So the speaker speaks a word or words or a sentence with a meaning, and the listener decodes and grasps its sense conveyed to him. Okay, this is communication. So the message the listener got through his eyes and ears. The speaker is otherwise known as addresser, or otherwise known as encoder, because he encodes, or transmitter, because he transmits. And the listener is otherwise known as addressee, 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 decoder, or receiver. One second. The man who speaks is a speaker. He is otherwise known as addresser or encoder or transmitter. Okay. Then there is a listener, and the listener is known as addressee or decoder or receiver also. They are together known as the encoder and the decoder together. known as interlocutors. Listen, interlocutors. 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 Encoder, the speaker. Decoder, the listener. Encoder, the writer. Decoder, the reader. So in short, these two groups together called interlocutors. 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 Then they are active participants. That is why we call them interlocutors in the process of communication system. Okay. These ideas can be presented in the form of a diagram that I shall present you later. After this class, after this explanation posted, I shall post the diagram also below it so that you can understand how encoder sends message to the decoder. Okay. Thank you for today. We'll meet in the next class.